Tomb Raider fans, what's good? In this video, we're going to be looking at the supporting characters to Tomb Raider 2013, and I really feel like these characters are far better than what we remember, and they added way more to the plot than we initially thought. So we're going to be looking at each one in depth. This video will be longer than my normal videos, so each character will have their timestamp in the comments. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Let's talk about Mathias. At first, I thought he was just the antagonist to the game, just to be the antagonist. But when I actually started analyzing his character and looking at his documents and his motivation, this character actually became very interesting. When we look into Mathias' documents, we actually see that his plane crashed into Yamatai in 1982. So him and his other crewmates actually tried to escape going to the open sea, but the storms of the Sun Queen swept them all back onto shore and 2 people died. Mathias and other survivors will try the same plan once again, only for the same result to happen again. But a third time, Mathias tells other crewmates they should go, but this time he will stay behind as he expected the storms would generate out of nowhere. And that happens, and he starts to realize there's something paranormal going on in Yamatai. If you continue to explore Mathias' documents, you actually figure out that he was in Yamatai with other people, but he wanted to build the Solari cult, and the storms were constantly bringing in new people to Yamatai, so he would recruit some of them, and then when his cult got big enough, they went around and they started killing everybody else who was on Yamatai. As Mathias is building the Solari cult, he is trying to figure out why the storms are being formed. Pretty ironic to what Laura was doing when she got swept onto Yamatai. So all those years pass, and as the Solari cult gets really big, they actually build an empire on the highest mountain in Yamatai, which gives them access to any point of the island by ziplining, which is how he found Laura and the other crewmates so fast. After all those years of being in Yamatai and doing all that research, Mathias finally realizes that he must bring the queen, an Asian girl, so she can transfer her soul into that new body. It's crazy that Mathias has been on that island since 1982 into 2011, so you know that man definitely wants to go home, and you can't really fault him for the stuff that he was doing in this game. As soon as the Endurance boat crashed and they saw that Sam was on it, Mathias didn't play any type of games. He got to work off rip and went right to that shore. I'm trying to go home right now type stuff. You can definitely tell he's done this quite a few times, and especially the fact that he has quick access to any point of the island too. Laura's intuition is telling her, don't even shake this man's hand.
Shake your hand. I'm gonna shake your hand. I want to shake his hand.
As you play the game, you can see the Solari cult members' paintings and stuff, as they keep track of things and survivors and how many people came to the island. You can definitely see Mathias is good at planning stuff, and there's a point in the game where a pilot comes, and Mathias uses him as bait as Laura will try to go talk to him to save him, so he could kill her. There was the point where Jonah said you can't use logic to understand this place, and Mathias actually said the very same thing.
You're insane, Mathias! Why are you doing this?
You're searching for logic and reason where there is none. I made the same mistake once. Back when I thought ships could reach us and planes wouldn't fall from the sky.
Just as Mathias was trying to figure out how the Sun Queen works, was just as Laura was trying to figure out. And those two actually have a lot of similarities within the game, and Mathias actually tells that to Laura.
Every creature in nature will turn and fight when its very survival is at stake. So don't think I don't understand you, girl. I've just been doing this a lot longer.
Just as Laura was trying to survive Yamatai is just as Mathias is trying to survive Yamatai. You can even describe Mathias to be captivating and charismatic, as he was actually able to convince these random survivors to join his Solari cult. I think Mathias is actually written really well, especially once you explore his documents and you get his whole backstory and you understand what he's been through at Yamatai. He's not just an antagonist to antagonize the protagonist for no reason. He actually has really good motivations, and he became very similar in motivations to the protagonist. He just gets the shorter end of the stick. I don't know if anybody else sees this, but he reminds me of Sattler from Resident Evil 4. You can just see the resemblance. Both operated through cults too. Anyways, let's talk about the snake in the group, and that is Dr. Whitman. In the flashback in the game's early cutscenes with the camcorder, you actually get a good taste of this character.
Roth about this. There's no point in following in other people's footsteps, Dr. Whitman.
I refuse to bet my reputation on your hunch. I'm the lead archaeologist here.
And when were you last in the field without a TV crew behind you?
Got 30 years experience, 2 PhDs, 1 in East Asian history, so why don't you just stick to boats, Mr. Grimm?
Ship, Dr. Whitman. It's a ship.
That doesn't look good.
If it's wet, I can sail on it.
Oh, don't tell me you're seriously
Reyes is right. We don't have the funds to piss about. It's now or never. Lara's offering fresh ideas and a plan. I'm the captain here. It's my decision. We're going into the Dragon's Triangle.
Why am I even here?
Based off the cutscene, we can see that Dr. Whitman definitely thinks he's a know-it-all. He was trying to flash off his accolades, trying to overcompensate, and he didn't even know the difference between a boat or a ship. And he just has a nasty attitude. You can see when he walks off after Roth makes a decision. Even when you look into Sam's documents, she actually talks about how Dr. Whitman is always throwing temper tantrums. They out here trying to make a TikTok.
Yeah, you got...
Good Lord, cut! 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 Cut!
Is he coming back?
Dr. James.
I'll go get him.
When you look into Dr. Whitman's documents, you actually find out that he's in the middle of a divorce. And his reasons for going to Yamatai is for financial gain, as his greed for fame, discovery, and riches allow him to start doing snake stuff like this.
Good doctor. What the hell are you doing, Whitman?
So as you read the documents, you actually find out that Dr. Whitman actually wanted to milk the Solari coat for documentaries and TV so he can get that money, and he actually wanted to get split up with Lara because he wanted to let her in on the plan. Later in the game, Dr. Whitman actually helps Mathias kidnap Sam. And when you read Dr. Whitman's documents further into the game, he says Lara cannot get off the island nor any of the other crewmates because he wants to be the only one to know about the Solari coat and milk it all for money. Really shows you how much of a snake this guy really is.
Laura, you're alive!
So are you. I mean, are you okay? What happened?
Once they stopped seeing me as a threat, they let me move about almost freely.
Did you know the others were captured?
Yes. Sam's in there, but I couldn't free her without a weapon.
Who peeped Lara thought Dr. Whitman was gonna die, or she wanted him dead? Dr. Whitman definitely pulls the biggest snake play of the day by leading the Solari code right into Lara and the other members of the Endurance to get him killed. Dr. Whitman is definitely the type of person who thinks he knows everything and how to handle everything, and in terms that actually gets him killed when he talks to the Queen Stormguard.
Of course. I've encountered these archaic tribes before. Let's get some awards, James.
What is he doing?
My name is Dr. James Whitman. I come to you in peace. I bring you your new queen.
Oh no.
Your queen. What is it in Japanese? Your Joe.
My
Alright, so let's look at Reyes. And Reyes is an interesting character because she has a lot of subplot within the game. She antagonizes Lara for 2/3 of the game. She's an outspoken person, and she definitely comes for people in this game.
Keep it up, you son of a bitch! When I get out of here, I'm gonna shove one of those arrows right up your ass!
This one's kinda temper. Hey, don't run.
I was only hoping
Look, another word and I swear to God, I'll start smashing that expensive dentistry of yours.
Stop.
One of the first things we learn is Reyes has a romantic relationship with Roth, who's the captain of the Endurance. When you explore some of the documents in this game, you actually figure out that Roth is the father to Reyes' child. Roth is actually always out on trips, and somebody he used to be on trips with a lot is Lara's dad. Since Lara's father died, he became like a father figure for Lara. So you can kind of see how this creates issues between Reyes and Lara. Reyes' main objective during this trip is if they discover Yamatai, they want all that money and they want to cash out. But during the journey throughout the game, we can easily see that Reyes gives Lara a lot of shit, and it's actually very entertaining to see.
Are you okay, Lara?
Is she okay? Because it's all about Lara, isn't it? Have you forgotten that she's the reason we're here?
That's not fair, Reyes.
We can take the boat out at high tide.
No, we can't.
Don't start that bullshit again, Lara.
Lara isn't the only one who thinks we're trapped, Reyes.
We could definitely see that Reyes gives Lara a hard time through those cutscenes, and she even threatens Lara to leave her on the island. It wasn't until I started exploring the documents until I realized, why does Reyes lash out on Lara? One of the documents actually says Reyes finally told Roth that he is the father to her child. Another document, which is actually Reyes writing to her daughter, says if she dies on the island to go seek out Roth, who actually is her father. No Darth Vader. So after looking at the documents, I actually figure out that there is a sense of jealousy between Reyes and Lara, as Roth treats Lara like a daughter, but he doesn't treat Reyes' daughter like his daughter because he doesn't even know, so she doesn't get any of that father treatment.
I don't even know how to begin this, so I'm just gonna come right out with it. Alicia is yours. Maybe you've known it all along, but since I signed back on board the Endurance, I just can't keep the truth from you any longer. Lara needs to understand the weight of that responsibility. I know it was your call, but sometimes I think you forget that she isn't actually your daughter. No one else could get away with steering the Endurance into the Dragon's Triangle without at least some hard evidence. So you tell me, what convinced you?
So we can see that Reyes is hard on Lara, but I feel like she's only hard on her out of jealousy. Throughout the game, you can definitely see that those two build up some type of animosity towards each other, and it's definitely entertaining to see.
Seems anyone caught with you has a pretty low survival rate.
Reyes,
Better keep your distance then.
let's just eat, okay?
I'm going after Alex. Where were the tools?
The engine room. Look, he can take care of himself, Lara.
Good. Then we'll be back soon.
Once we're ready to leave, we're leaving. Whether you're back or not.
Hey, who else peeped Sam getting tired of Reyes' lash out on Lara? Anyways, as Lara continues to take leadership and try to figure out how to get off the island, Reyes eventually stops lashing out on Lara. And she takes Lara's side and they work together to get off the island. Looking at Reyes, it seems like she only really lashed out at Lara just because she was jealous that Roth treated her like a daughter while her daughter wasn't getting any of that treatment. And Reyes really added a lot of subplot to the story. It was like, yeah, we're already in this bad situation, but man, you still got this beef.
Reyes, you're hurt. Here.
Thanks. Seriously, I thought that was it for me.
There's no sign of him.
What happened?
During the attack, Whitman took Sam and they disappeared.
He's taken her back to Mathias.
We should have listened. I should have listened.
I think it's only right that we talk about Roth next. Now, since Roth used to do all those trips with Lara's father, he definitely knows Lara's father a lot, and he must tell Lara about her father a lot. Throughout the game, you can see that Roth gives Lara a lot of guidance. But the thing that really interests me as Roth as a character is he's the person that pushes Lara to the next level.
I have to stay here. You can do this, Lara. Remember when we climbed Snowden?
Look. Lara. We need to send out that SOS. And I'm not climbing anytime soon.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say that.
You can do it, Lara. After all, you're a Croft.
I don't think I'm that kind of Croft.
Sure you are. You just don't know it yet.
Hey, if you looked at Laura's face, you can tell she was definitely not trying to hear that. Since Roth is like that father figure to Laura, you can definitely see in the game that he tries to give her that wisdom.
Damn it, he can't hear me. I have to get to him.
No.
His signal's just over there.
We've got our own people to worry about. We'll need to regroup as soon as they find Sam.
I can't just leave him out there alone. I need to get to him.
Sometimes you've got to make sacrifices, Laura. You can't save everyone.
I know about sacrifices.
No, you know about loss. Sacrifice is a choice you make. Loss is a choice made for you.
I can't choose to let him die, Roth.
Roth was definitely seen as the leader of Endurance, but his journey sadly ended early because he died trying to protect Laura, but he fulfilled his oath as he told Laura's father that he would protect her ever since he passed away. I really like how Roth had deep ties with Laura and he had deep ties with Reyes. I feel like he didn't need to die in this game. That's a whole nother video. But what I really liked about Roth as a character was he was the person that caused the spark of Laura to change from a static character to a dynamic character, allowing her to realize her potential and to grow to become the person that was leading the rest of the Endurance crew off of the island to survive. It kind of makes you what type of stuff did he see when he went out with the journeys with Laura's father and Grimm, and other stuff in his background. Alright, so there's not much to say about Grimm. All we know about Grimm is he used to go on adventures with Laura's father and Roth. He's grumpy all the time, and one thing about Grimm is he does not go out sad. He definitely goes out swinging, and that's what's up. He'll fact check you too for the one time. Alright, so the next character to talk about is Alex, and there's not too much to say about Alex. He's just the goofy person that's always telling jokes. People kind of talk to him in a decondescending manner. He gets his moment to go out with a bang and gets to do something heroic for the one time. And that's pretty much it about Alex. Alright, so the next character to talk about is Jonah. And Jonah, if you saw my Tomb Raider 2013 cutscenes, he's the diffuser of bad situations.
I was only hoping.
Look, another word and I swear to God I'll start smashing that expensive dentistry of yours.
Stop. If we fight amongst ourselves, then we lose.
He seems to be about good vibes and good times. And one thing I will say about Jonah is he seems like a good friend and very supportive, but after witnessing the things from this journey, he seems naive. Even before they land in Yamatai, when they're in the ship, he says this.
Dragon's Triangle, that's where we need to go.
Lara, my little bird, I'd follow you almost anywhere, but that place has a bad energy.
Bad storms, more like. Makes the Bermuda Triangle look like Disney World.
And then when the first random storm finally happens, he says this about it.
She's right. When that storm hit the Endurance, I felt it. Something dark, something alive. This place is cursed.
So as Laura's trying to convince everybody that paranormal stuff is happening on the island, Jonah ends up saying this type of stuff.
You know this island isn't right, Jonah. I know you do.
All I know is that we can't use logic to understand this place. Lara is right. This island is cursed. There's a rage here that will never let us go. If the worst happens and I'm the last one standing, I will let Pania take me. I will swim away and join my brother in the waves.
To say all that stuff and then to witness random storms generating, lightning hitting aircrafts out the air, and to still not accept all the paranormal stuff that is happening, we definitely can see that Jonah definitely has a superior sense of self-denial. There's a scene where Jonah says you can't use logic to understand this place, and to not accept all that paranormal stuff as fact makes me believe Jonah is indeed naive. Alright, so the next character we're going to talk about is Sam, and we definitely know that Sam is Lara's main squeeze. There is something definitely going on between the two of them, to say the least. But all jokes aside, when you first start the game off and you see Sam with the camcorder, you find out that Lara and Sam are definitely very good friends. When you read a couple of documents, you find out that they've known each other since college. and all the other wild stuff that they used to do in college. When you further explore the documents, you can find out how good of a friend Sam really is, because she says she hopes Lara gets all the credit she deserves for all the research to find Yamatai. That's some real ride or die stuff right there. You can just tell how deep their friendship runs by looking at some of the clips into the game.
Are you okay, Lara?
Is she okay? Because it's all about Lara, isn't it?
I gotta say, Sam's prioritization is off. Roth just died, but she's worried about Lara, a true ride or die. When you look into Sam's documents, you actually find out before they arrive at the island, she says she has a nervous feeling about this trip, which is complete foreshadowing for the future events that's about to play out when they reach Yamatai. We actually find out as the game progresses that Sam actually has the same blood lineage as the Sun Queen, and that's exactly why she was going out to Yamatai in the first place, to experience her culture's ancestry. Throughout the events that happen in the game, Sam actually says this.
A tale? I hope I never hear Himiko's name again.
Sam, aren't you the person whose boat crashed and you ended up on an island with no modern civilization? And you meet an old man and the first thing you talk to him about is the tale of Himiko? To me, that sounds like you're pressed on Himiko. Sam had a rough journey at Yamatai. I mean, everybody has it rough in Yamatai. But Sam got kidnapped, and then she almost got burnt alive. And then on top of that, her great whatever she is to her grandmother tries to do Captain Ginyu changed body jutsu on her ass and steal her body. So, you know, after her experience in Yamatai, she's never going to talk about that place again. So that's pretty much Sam broken down. She's pretty much the damsel in distress, and she's Lara's best friend. She's the main piece. Speaking about being the main piece, Lara actually gives Sam Roth's side piece. You know she don't know how to shoot. Alright, y'all. Y'all let me know if that's a boat or a yacht in the comments. I think the cast of this game was really good, and I think a lot of the characters were diverse and they all had their place in this journey in the game. I really like the subplots that each character brought into the story. The thing between Reyes, Roth, and Lara, and the thing of jealousy. I think that the developers should have considered a lot of the members of this cast to continue to another Tomb Raider game, because they built the relationship with each other already through this journey, and they put all that effort into their backgrounds. There's a lot of things that they could have built with off of these characters, but instead they kind of just abandoned them. Like, I don't really feel like Roth should have died in this game. Maybe Roth could have knew about Trinity, and Trinity could have started coming for Lara, and Roth could have like warned her and then died trying to protect her from Trinity or something. Just my idea. Sam is only mentioned in the voice dialogue in the next game, and Jonah doesn't really do too much within the plot of the Tomb Raider games. But these are my reasons why I think the Tomb Raider 2013 cast was actually a really good set of characters. The voice actors did a really good job with those characters, so shoutouts to those voice actors. If you like this video, go check out the other Tomb Raider content on my channel, and you guys already know what time it is. Vibe out.